My 2026 wildlife photography calendars are here. This is my first time ever creating a physical product, and now that I am holding them in my hands, I am genuinely proud of how they turned out, and I'm so happy that I can finally share them with you. I made 2 versions this year. The Wild Collection, which is made up from my favorite wildlife images from across the globe, and the Africa Edition, a brand new series for my time in Botswana and Zambia this year. Thank you so much to everybody that pre-ordered a calendar. Your support really means so much to me. And if you haven't ordered a calendar and you are interested, I have linked my shop below as well. Every photo in these calendars has a story, and for almost all of them, I filmed the moments behind each story. So in today's video, I'm going to take you through one of the calendars and share the video footage that goes with each photo. All right, let's get into it. We'll start with the cover of the Wild Collection. This is a nesting Gentoo penguin colony at Nico Harbor in Antarctica, and this was actually my very first time stepping onto the continent, so it was a pretty special moment for me. What you don't see in this photo is the massive glacier that was spilling into the bay, curious penguins swimming up to our boat, and humpback whales surfacing all around us. The scene was exactly what you would expect Antarctica to be, like if you could hop into a postcard from Antarctica. This was the moment. We kick off the new year with another Gentoo penguin in Antarctica, this time taken at Petermann Island. In addition to the Gentoos, there were also quite a few Adelie penguins as well. It was so adorable watching them go back and forth, picking up the perfect pebbles for their nests, and even sometimes stealing them from another penguin's nest when they weren't looking. This did cause a few fights. February brings us to one of Antarctica's top predators, the leopard seal. It was a super quick encounter, but I was lucky enough to capture the moment when it woke up from its nap and let out a big yawn. The star of March 2026 is Pitaka, the Chilean puma, and her 2 10-month-old cubs. We searched all day for the family and finally spotted them just before sunset as it started to rain. They snuggled together to wait it out, taking turns napping and cleaning each other. It was a seriously heartwarming moment, and so special to witness the family bond that these cats share. April brings us above the Arctic Circle to a small fishing village in Greenland called Sakak. Closely related to wolves, Greenlandic dogs are an integral part of life here. They pull sleds across the sea ice in winter, helping locals to fish, hunt, and travel in between communities. Even though they aren't true wildlife, I really wanted to include this image because of how beautiful I think it is, but also because of how deeply loved these working dogs are by their handlers. May marks the start of Puffins season in Iceland, and this image was taken on a very rainy day at Reynisfjara Beach. It was absolutely pouring, but these little cuties were just hanging out on the cliffs, completely unbothered by the rain. This was also my very first time seeing Atlantic puffins, and I think it was 100% worth getting soaked for. June is guarded by this African wild dog. Botswana was my very first time being on safari, and I remember going into it very excited to see wild dogs, and my brother actually asked me, "What is the deal with you and these wild dogs?" But as soon as he saw them moving together as a pack, I think he definitely got it. They're incredibly social, deeply bonded animals, and with only around 6,000 of them left in the wild, getting to spend a morning with them felt especially meaningful and was one of the highlights of my trip. In July, we have an audience with the king of the bush himself. Meet Alex. He's one of the dominant male lions of the Busanga Plains in Zambia, could hear his calls from our camp every morning before sunrise, and on our final morning there, we caught up with him just as he was announcing his royal presence. August is almost too cute, and as you know, every king needs an heir. These two cubs were sired by Alex, who we just met in July. On this morning, they were playing, blissfully unaware of the danger nearby, while their mother kept a very close watch. Because just a few moments earlier, a female from a rival pride had been scoping out the area. Although all it took was one fierce look from this mama for the other female to retreat. September is brought to you by this year's winner of Savannah Top Model. This leopard sighting was one of my favorite from the entire trip because we actually ended up seeing her twice in one day. At sunrise, we found her resting in a tree, and then we returned to the area a little bit before sunset and found her again, this time stalking impala through the bush. A few moments after that, she hopped up onto this giant termite mound to scan the area for prey. For such a famously elusive animal, this was an extraordinary sighting. October stars this Arctic fox kit who completely stole my heart in Greenland. She was hanging around the camp where I was staying, but she was very skittish. So most of the footage I have of her is actually just her running away. But I did manage to capture a moment or two when she stopped retreating and just looked straight at me. You can even see her coat beginning to change from brown to white to camouflage her for the upcoming winter. We are now soaring toward the end of the year, just like this southern royal albatross in the Drake Passage en route to Antarctica. These birds are massive, with wingspans of over 3 meters. I only saw one of these guys the entire trip, and the seas were pretty rough, which made it really hard for me to keep my camera steady. I did see plenty of their slightly smaller cousins though, the light-mantled albatross, soaring effortlessly above the waves. We started this journey with the cover image in Nico Harbor, and we're going to close out the year with that same Gentoo penguin colony. Coming full circle like this reminds me what a great privilege it is to return to places that are still truly wild. And I hope that by flipping through these calendar pages, you feel the same sense of connection to the natural world that I felt in each of these moments. Thank you so much for listening to the stories behind the Wild collection. These are moments that have shaped my career as a wildlife filmmaker, and I'm so grateful that I was able to share them here with you today. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment down below. And if you are interested in picking up a calendar, I have also linked my shop in the description. If you find yourself wanting a deeper dive into any of these stories, I have full-length YouTube videos for almost all of them. The only ones that you'll have to wait just like a little bit longer for are the Africa videos that will be out in January. As always, thank you so much for subscribing and for liking this video. Happy holidays, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.